Hey guys, Shawn at webpianoteacher.com. How are you doing today? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you some things you can do, 3 things you can do to include a synth part if you have or an organ part or some kind of melody on top of another track that's playing piano part. You can play both, okay? There's a way to do that. I'm going to show you those 3 ways. So this is so cool. This is a hired request, The Great Suburban Showdown by Billy Joel. I just did this complete on the website. If you'd actually like to learn every note of this whole thing, you can do so for $1. $1 for 7 days, cancel anytime, no obligation. Let's get going. All right, so here we go. This is great. I love these not so well-known songs of Billy Joel that are awesome, right? They're not the hits, but they're still great songs. This is one of those. I'm going to just play this for you, this first line, and then we'll get into it. Great song. I love Billy Joel's melodies. He's so great because he writes the lyrics and the melodies along, but he also is the songwriter and the piano player. When you do that, you can just write for your voice, right? You don't have to go find a song that might suit you. I think that's why his music is so great, one of the reasons. So let's get going, okay? All right, so I'll explain to you what we have here. Let me explain. So we have the actual piano part on the bass that's in the track. Those are the chords. And hey, if all you want to do is play the chords and sing, it's a great song to do that. It's, you know, a beginner level thing. If you just want to play the chords, don't want to worry about all this up here, that synthesizer part. Okay, and then in the top, I have written that synthesizer part. Okay. And I don't use sheet music or something to do this. I just listen to it, and then I write down what I'm hearing. So this is, you know, you won't get this anywhere else in the world. All right, so looking at the chords, and I'm not going to teach the chords here. I'm going to assume you can already read chords. If you need, you know, individual lessons, you can do that on the site for each measure. But G chord, A minor 7, okay? And I have the right hand on top, and there's the bass note, okay? Just a simple... And really make it sound like Billy Joel. Accent that second one. 1, 2, 1. Okay. C chord. That's a G chord with a B bass. Here we have a G chord, D chord, and then our little part there. So that's all the chords. And then the synth part is up here in the top. Okay. My little squiggly line there is just what I call a roll-up. So instead of just playing a B, I'm going to do the 2 notes before it. A sharp, B. Same thing on the D. You just 1, 2, 3, like you're drumming your fingers on a desk. So that's the synth part. Bum, ba-da-dum. D, E, F, E, D, C. And then a little hook on the B means an A sharp. Flip it. D, G. Little hook on the F sharp means F natural. There. All right, so how do we combine these? Because you can't play it all, right? You have a bass note, you have a chord, and then you have a melody on top, and you just can't humanly possible do one person in a live performance and do all of that. So you have to make some concessions. The first thing you do, here's the first tip, is that you take the chord in the left hand and you do a 10th. So I'm spreading this out. G, D, B. I'm leaving the G out just because I'm not Rachmaninoff. I can't play all of those. I almost can. All right. Some of you can't reach that. That's okay. You can just do an octave, okay? But for those of you who can reach it, you can do G, D, B, and you can roll it if you can't reach it like a... Okay, so when you have that 10th, you can just, like that. Just roll it. Just pivot on that second finger, all right? And the option, if you can't reach it, is just do an octave and a 5th. Okay? And then we get this. All right, that's not bad. That's a good sound. Sounds like the album version. So whenever you have a full chord, just do that octave. The 10th, G to B, and then D in the middle. All right? Or you can do that. Now, you could do this, you know, G, B, D. That just sounds a little muddled to me. I like this better. All right, so that's the first thing you do. So what would you do on this one? Well, you can do the A, E, G. And this brings me up to my second tip on how to combine these two. And that's sometimes let the right hand take the left hand note. See that? Then I actually can get them all right there. And I can play the C as well. So that's the second tip, is let the right hand take some of the chord notes when they're close enough together to do it. So I have this. So I get them all there in that measure. And that second tip I'm going to use here as well. I have the G in the melody, but I can also take that D. Then I can get them all. So let's do what we have so far. Make sure you play the melody louder than the rest of it, okay? That needs to come out. So that's called balance. More pressure on the fingertips of the melody. So I'll play that D2, but not loud, because it's not the melody note. Now when I get here, I'm going to do my first tip, where I let the left hand do a tenth. So to do a tenth, all you do is take the root position chord. So let's say that's a C chord. It is a C chord, C, E, G. I'm going to spread it out. I'm going to take the middle note. I'm going to do one thing. That middle note's going to be bumped up here. That's all you do for a tenth. Okay? Let that sink in. I know I talk a lot. That's who I am, but you have to talk if you're going to teach, okay? And that's what we're losing today on the internet, is the teaching. Everyone's becoming computer copycats, just copy the program. But I want to teach. I'm going to keep teaching till I die. So sometimes I say something that's really important, and this is one of those moments. When you want a tenth, all you do is you take that middle note and you bump it up, and you do 5, 2, 1. And again, you can roll it. I know many great piano players who have small hands, and they just roll tenths, and they get by just fine. Okay? So now we add that to what we have. You could also do this, and here's the part of the third tip, is even if the right hand is too far away to reach that E, I actually could reach it if I want. So yeah, I could do that. In fact, that's not a bad idea. We're always learning, right? Let me see if that works. Yeah, if I do that and do C, G, C, I can let my right hand take that E2 if I can reach it. But here's the other thing. You could also just kind of take some of that chord and do this. G, C, F. All right? Because those two notes, G, C, are part of a C chord, C, E, G. Okay? Then it's not exactly what's on the album, but it suffices to capture the sound and mood of the album, I think. Okay? So that's the third thing, is you'll actually just put some notes in here that are part of the chord, even though they're not down here where the piano's actually playing. Okay? That's your third tip, is you just add some notes in there on certain, downbeats are a good place to put some extra notes on the right hand to kind of fill it out, all right? All right, so let's move on. Okay, so on this one I did that, B, G, B. On this one, I'm back to a G chord. So what I do there, because I actually had the 10th kind of outlined, okay, but now he's doing this inversion, and inversion is just a different way of playing the same chord. GBD is the ingredients of a G chord. Here it is again, but it's just mixed up differently, okay? So I'm just going to do GDP again, right? Still a G chord. That's how I make it work. I could also do this. Okay, where I'm letting the right hand kind of take that. But I like this better because it's easier. And hey, sometimes that's your choice, is what's easy. Okay, not what's going to be, what I think I have to do to be exactly like Billy Joel. It's what's easy. Okay, that's always a factor. What's easy? So that's what I do there, because it's easy. Now on this one, I could do this, D, A, F sharp. I do that 10th. Okay, that one's a little bit further D to F sharp. But again, you can roll it. Or you can do this. See what I did there? I just did it right here. Now I can get them all. All right, so those. The other thing that I can't really do is you could change the octave, especially on guitar stuff. Here's another thing you need to remember that I'll just pass you by if you don't pay attention. Whenever you're transcribing a guitar solo thing, I don't know why, but it always works pretty good to bump it up an octave. Right? Wherever the guitar's playing, go up an octave on the piano, and it sounds pretty good. So that's the third thing is to change the octave that whatever that melody thing is, the guitar's doing it, an organ, a synthesizer, or even a vocal line, is to bump up the octave, change the octave in which it's being played. Okay, and so you just go up instead of this B, you do this one. This is not good example because it's really in the right place where it needs to be. But for other solos, definitely that will come into play. So now let's try the whole line. Go. And again, guys, I teach the whole thing on the website. $1 to try the whole thing out for 7 days, no obligation, cancel anytime. $1, My method works for a lot of people who have failed every other way to try to play. And their failures usually aren't that they're stupid or they have no talent. It's just that they haven't found that right way to do things. They don't know how to practice. They just need a way that's going to work for them. And the traditional lesson template does not work for a lot of the most talented people. It just doesn't. And so that's kind of been my niche for the last 20 years on YouTube and on my website, webpianoteacher.com. Talk to you guys later. I hope you got a lot out of this lesson.